morning, everyone. This is Diane Murray at Southern Art Gallery, and today we are looking at the Hydrus. See if I can show you that. Dr. P.H. Martin's Hydrus liquid watercolor. And I received these yesterday, and I ordered my version of primaries. They're not really primaries, but I have Payne's Gray, and I have Indian Red, and I have Hansa Yellow Medium. And the reason I chose these three colors was because I do a lot of dark backgrounds, and I wanted to see how the Payne's Gray would act as a background. And I do a lot of underpainting, and I use a lot of yellow. I start my underpaintings generally with yellow, so that's a color that I use a lot of. And the Indian Red I just thought would be fun to play with. So that being said, I have made a color wheel with those three colors. And remember, they're not perfect primaries, but this would be a dark primary palette. And they made what I discovered. I'll just share with you what I've discovered so far. The colors are very vibrant. The Indian Red is more opaque, which, you know, is to be expected because Indian Red usually is. The Payne's Gray is just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous dark color. Their Hansa Yellow Medium is an excellent pigment. That it made beautiful greens, which you would expect. Even with the Payne's Gray as your blue, it made really pretty greens. So I thought that was interesting. You cannot make good violets when you have when you use Payne's Gray and you use Indian Red. That's just not going to happen. You're not going to get violets. You're going to get browns, which is what we got. So I wasn't surprised by that. We got some very nice oranges, however, when we mixed the Hansa Yellow Medium with the Indian Red. And this is more of an earthy palette, which is really what I was looking for. And I mixed down here I just did some combinations of the Hansa Yellow with the Indian Red and got the oranges. I did the Indian Red with the Payne's Gray. I got these beautiful dark neutrals. And then amazingly, the Hansa Yellow Medium with the Payne's Gray makes gorgeous greens. So what I thought we would do today is to see how they mix with traditional watercolors. So I thought we would take the Hansa Yellow Medium and mix it with just an ultramarine. Because from what I understand, they're supposed to mix just like regular watercolors. And they do, and that makes an absolutely gorgeous grain right there. So these little liquid paints, they are light fast, according to Dr. P.H. Martin. And I think there's some real advantages and disadvantages to these. I think one of the great advantages, and I'll show you that with this background that I did, but is how fluid they are. They're just, as you can see, they just pour onto the paper. It's just amazing what they do. Let's try quinacridone red and see what we get. And there's a beautiful orange. So they mix beautifully. They granulate, so they don't stop the granulation of the ultramarine, which is really neat. Let's try Payne's Gray. With an orange and see if we can get, or how about with a burnt sienna, or how about with quinacridone rust. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we get some very rich browns, gorgeous browns actually. Look at that. Beautiful. So they mix beautifully. I'm very surprised by these paints. I didn't find that they go as far as everyone else has said, that you only need to use a drop. I tended to use a bit more than that, although I do think that they're extremely economical. These were $6.32 or something like that, a bottle, for a big bottle of these. So I think that they're a lot of fun to play with, and I think I will use these, and I honestly am very impressed with these watercolors, and I think they're going to be a lot of fun to use. And that being said, I did this mandala using them, just playing around, and the background that I got was this was just one coat. So they do beautiful backgrounds, and they do have a very nice flow and consistency about them. And as you can see, they look just like watercolors, except thinner, which is logical because they're liquid. So you have to adjust your consistencies a bit so that it's not too. You don't add much water. If you add a lot of water, it's just going to go everywhere. So I think that they would be excellent and to use in a lot of different situations. So I will continue to play with these and let you know what I think in a future video. One thing that I did notice that I think is really interesting, and I am going to try, is putting them in a water brush and seeing how I can do lettering with that, which I think would be really neat. I saw Marty Owens do that with a water brush, and I think that's really something I'm going to try. So that being said, I would recommend these. Not if you're new to watercolor. I think you need to learn more about how watercolor actually works before you get these. But if you're just playing around, or if you're doing crafts or cards, or you just want to have fun with watercolor, I think they're great, and I would recommend them. So that being said, we will see you in the future with more projects.